More WhoSpy photos have been released, including one which appears to tease the new TARDIS interior. So WhoSpy, if you don't know, is a recently revived Doctor Who social media online thing where we get these little glimpses and bits and pieces from the upcoming episodes, behind the scenes shots, basically little close-ups of stuff out of context, be it a prop or a bit of graphic design or a bit of actual set. We've had 7 photos so far, I believe. I have covered them all on the channel already in 2 videos, so do go and check those out if you haven't already for all sorts of stuff. We've had teas like a keep outside on a shed, we've had a wood carving of a clown, we've had some alien language or something alien symbols, we have had some unit documents, and more to come in this video. But firstly, right off the bat, in terms of the 2 new photos we've got to talk about today, we have this one, which, like I say, would appear to tease part of the new TARDIS interior. Very, very excitingly indeed. So the little caption which went with this one was "Flip the switch, see what happens," which, basically screams TARDIS. TARDIS consoles, particularly in the new series, they always have, that switch or that lever you pull, that kind of identifiable thing that sets the TARDIS into flight or whatever, and all these controls on the console that do different things. That's the kind of thing that this post puts me in mind of. I mean, in the image itself, we have this very interesting sort of angle. It's not immediately clear what the angle is here, but I think it is looking down, like a kind of bird's eye view type thing, basically. I think the thing that kind of is a bit difficult to work out is what's going on with the bit in the background, the cracked white sort of stone-like material. But what this puts me in mind of is sort of like a kind of kitchen sink type thing, like a recessed section where, you have that sort of section. Maybe there's multiple recessed sections that make up the console for this particular TARDIS console. But that's what I think it is, a kind of recessed section with these bits and pieces inside. We've kind of got a glimpse here of a corner, so a big lever type thing there in the foreground, a little kind of twisty dially thing behind that, and then more stuff off to the left. Very kind of TARDIS-like materials, colour schemes and things. We have metals here, kind of I don't know, like laser cut or whatever, engraved sort of parts in silvers and kind of bronzy sort of copper, woven sections almost, like wiring and stuff, or kind of fabricy bits. A little bit difficult to tell really, but looks very, very nice, very elaborate, and like I say, that kind of colour scheme there is very, very consistent, like the kind of the bronzes, the silvers, the coppers, green as well, featuring quite prominently there. All of the colours, like I said, that you would expect to see on a TARDIS console. I think as well, the dead giveaway, if you look very, very closely at that kind of the dial in the background, is the fact that it has Gallifreyan symbols on it, or what would appear to be Gallifreyan symbols. So clearly this is some kind of Gallifreyan Time Lord type thing. Probably the TARDIS, we can't say for sure. It could be some other Gallifreyan device belonging to some other Time Lord character that we're yet to meet. But yes, we do have a ring there of what would appear to be Gallifreyan symbols, very closely matching the sort of Gallifreyan language that's been used throughout the revived series, as of course first introduced, back in series 1, of revived Doctor Who. So that's very nice, kind of puts me in mind of obviously some kind of style thing, like kind of sundial maybe, or different settings. Obviously you turn the little knob there, and depending on where it is on the ring, it does different things for the TARDIS. Maybe it controls the location or whatever time period. So yes, potentially our first official look at the new TARDIS. Obviously it remains to be seen, but I think the caption there, flip the switch, see what happens, inviting you in as a doctor would invite the companion into the TARDIS. It just puts me in mind of all that sort of stuff. Obviously the big lever in the foreground as well. I mean, I should probably say, in terms of the context for this new TARDIS, we know we're getting a new TARDIS interior. We don't know what it looks like officially. There have been leaks and things. I don't know whether they are still online or not. They probably are, if you know where to look. I may or may not have seen bits of them myself. I mean, I know there were leaked photos, and then people made their own renders of it as well. So there's all sorts of layers to it. But I would advise anyone that hasn't seen them, to hold off, to the episodes themselves, because presumably that's going to be when the reveal takes place, either in the episodes or maybe just before broadcast. I think for Series 1, for Rose, they revealed it in the Radio Times, had a massive kind of pull-out cover of the TARDIS interior, and that's how people saw it for the first time, as it should be. So I imagine they'll do a similar sort of thing here, and so far, apart from that leak, they have managed to keep it under wraps. Even the leaked stuff that did come out, I think, was of the set, still as it was being built, so it wasn't like a finished thing, or it might have been like concept art or something. It definitely wasn't the final product, in all its glory with the proper lighting and stuff and all the finishing touches. So yeah, fingers crossed for a nice big reveal in the episode itself or just before. Then let's turn our attention to the second photo, the most recent one to date. Sort of retreading old ground, really. We've had one of these already, showing like a desk in unit headquarters. So this is really just a variation on a theme, like a different desk. I've got like a classified folder there of classified documents, and the text, if I can just zoom in and read it, says, "Materials contained here within are from confidential sources and contain restricted information. All materials enclosed are strictly for the internal use of the Unified Intelligence Task Force." We do, of course, also have the most up-to-date unit logo on that folder as well as all this paraphernalia on the desk, just as with the previous unit desk image. We've got things like a mug, a folder that says data on it, like a pair of scissors, a pot plant, some paperwork, all this kind of stuff, like a coffee mug thing. And a little umbrella there as well, a multicoloured umbrella in red, blue, yellow and black. I suppose they've kind of put that there kind of either just like completely randomly or thinking that we're going to pick up on it and say, oh, it's like a Sixth Doctor reference. It's Colin Baker. Colin Baker's return, is it confirmed? But no, it's probably just like a random thing or something that they've put there to deliberately troll us. Speaking of which, we have another one of those little Post-it notes on the actual screen, which is obviously to the left of the shot. We can't quite see what schematics are on the screen this time, whether it's still the galvanic beam thing or something else. But that says Tuesday meeting at 1300 hours, 1 PM. Some handwritten text as well. Extension 4/3, like the 4th of March, I guess, or something. Some other word, I can't quite read that. 007 minus or #21 NASA in brackets. I mean, I think as with the previous post-it note on the previous unit photo, as you'll know if you've watched a video on it, that said, like, I think Tuesday to Thursday 9:30 AM or something, and people were thinking, oh my god, this must be like a massive thing. This must be like the release schedule for the specials or some really important plot points. I suppose it still could end up being a really important plot points. Yeah, it's kind of weirdly specific, isn't it? This thing about like Tuesdays or specific days, specific times. On the one hand, yes, I can see these things could have some significance. But on the other hand, I could just see that it's like a completely random bit of set dressing or something that they've just put there really innocently without thinking, just completely random stuff. And yeah, we're all kind of tying ourselves up over it. Yeah, so I think personally, I'm not reading too much into that, but hey, you never know. But certainly in terms of these two images overall, that TARDIS one, obviously very, very exciting, assuming it is the TARDIS. Our first proper glimpse of that new console room that we know is coming, we know it's there, we know there's like a set down, standing set at Bad Wolf as we speak that they've been filming on, for all these months that's been there, since like May of last year, whatever, June. We know it's there, we know it's coming, and just really, really great to get a little glimpse of that. Very, very exciting. Very excited to see the full thing whenever that reveal ends up happening. What do you think about these WhoSpy photos? What do you think they tell us about the upcoming episodes, if anything at all, particularly? Let me know in the comments. Do you think there are kind of hidden meanings to things like that post-it note, or do you think, like me, it's just basically a load of random rubbish? And what are your thoughts about this TARDIS photo as well? Like I say, assuming it is the TARDIS, what do you think the full kind of set will look like, and what you're hoping for there? Let me know in the comments. If you have enjoyed this video, please do leave a like. Please do subscribe as well for more stuff like this in the future, including WhoSpy updates as they happen. But otherwise, until the next one, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye for now.